Hey guys, Jeff Nimnick here. I'm out at the range getting ready for this upcoming coyote season. Wanted to take a minute to go over my rifle setup and how I go about sighting my rifles in. I get tons of questions about that, so figure it'd just be easy to put a little YouTube video out there to kind of show you what I got, show you how I do it. All right, so here is my coyote rifle. It is a base Daniel Defense MK12. This is a stock gun. I've done nothing different to it. It comes with a Geisley 2-stage trigger, 18-inch barrel, 1-in-7 twist. I have a Gemtech sandstone suppressor in the 308. So all I did is just take a little adapter, because obviously these ARs are threaded for 1/2 inch, so I needed the 5/8 thread to fit the 308 suppressor, so just put the little adapter in there is all. Reason I did that, when you buy a suppressor, I would go with a 308, and then you can shoot it on everything. If you buy a 22 cal suppressor, then obviously you're limited to only 22 caliber rifles. So, and I don't notice any sound difference or anything like that. Got my Swagger Hunter 42 on there. I had to buy the Picatinny rail adapter. It's just a 4-sided Picatinny rail on there, so that was pretty simple to hook that on there. I have a Leupold VX3i 6.5 to 20 scope. It's got the CDS dial. So as you can see, it's numbered on there. So if I want to take a 300-yard shot, all I do is spin the dial to the 3, hold the crosshairs right on, adjust for some wind, and shoot. Got my Burris Fastfire 3 in a 8 MOA red dot on the side. I'm a left-handed shooter, so that's why I have it here. So when I camp my rifle like that, the red dot, as you can see, is lined up right over the top of the barrel. I dial that dead on at 25 yards. That's for those close running coyotes that I can't quite get in the scope. Other than that, stock pistol grip, stock butt stock. I usually run about a 20-round mag in there. There you have it. That is my rifle setup. Here's the ammo I run. It's just factory 223 53 grain VMAX Superformance. You can kind of see the ballistics. Although out of my 18-inch barrel, they're only going about 30-50, not 34-65, what the box says. Fantastic ammo. These 53 grain VMAXs were specifically designed to shoot out of a 223. Ballistic coefficients are better. The terminal ballistics are just unbelievable, meaning from the time the bullet impacts the coyote till it's out of energy. Phenomenal. Best bullet I've shot out of ARs for a long time. And I've shot ARs since 2004, and this is by far the best setup I've have, especially for being factory rifle, factory ammunition. So I want to show you one last thing. A lot of guys, if it's your first AR, you might have some questions on mounting a scope. Several things. Whatever kind of mount you use, you want your eyepiece to end up right over the top of your charging handle like that. That's going to give you really good eye relief. If you have your scope too far back, it's going to be tough. If you have it too far forward, it's going to be tough. But what I found, whatever mount you use, if you can get that eyepiece lined up right with your charging handle, you're going to be in good position. As you see on this other Mark 18 I have mounted up, it's the same spot. As far as mounts go, lots of options out there. You can use a 1-piece cantilever mount. This is just a simple 2-piece mount. This is a Leupold Mark III set for 30 millimeter. I think they're the extra high just to give me some clearance here above my rail. Some guys don't think it's a great idea when you got mount. As you can see, this front mount's actually on my barrel. The back mount's on my receiver. I've never had an issue with that, but obviously this is a high-end AR. Maybe if your gun's a little loose, you might run into some issues. So if you do have it mounted like that and you're having a hard time holding groups, you might want to try to get everything mounted on the receiver instead of both places. But the mount that my red dot, it's just a 45 mount that mounts underneath there. You can see that as well. Closer you can get that, the better. It gives you a bigger picture the closer your eye is to that screen, as opposed to mounting your red dot clear down your barrel somewhere. When it comes to sighting in, you can see I got quite the mess here. I've been shooting for a little bit here with several different guns for my dad and things, getting things ready. But I actually just used these. There's some old socks. I just filled them with unpopped popcorn. You know, instead of buying shooting sandbags for quite a bit of money, I just took some old socks, Went and bought a $2 bag of unpopped popcorn and filled it up and tied it off. As you can see, I got a little hole in one of my socks here. It's throwing things already. And then I do have a regular sandbag here, but that's what I'm using to get my rifle on. The biggest thing when it comes to sighting in ARs is shooting too much and making adjustments. What happens is, as you're shooting, your rifle's getting hotter. So if you go boom, 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 make an adjustment, boom, 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 make an adjustment, boom, 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 make an adjustment, your barrel's heating up. And as your barrel heats up, the harmonics change and your point of impact's going to change. So the worst thing you can do is shoot 3 shots, make an adjustment, shoot 3 shots, make an adjustment, shoot 3 shots, make an adjustment, and then now you're on the bullseye and you stop shooting. Well, at that point, your barrel's probably going to be pretty hot, and that's not your cold bore zero. What you're wanting is a cold bore zero. When you sit up on that Coyote stand first thing in the morning or afternoon, your barrel is going to be cold, meaning it hasn't been shot recently. You want that to be the true zero. So when you're sighting in these guns, shoot your 2 or 3 shots, make an adjustment, then I let my gun sit here for 10 or 15 minutes. I know it takes a lot of time, but that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that your barrel, before you go shoot that next set of shots, is cool to the touch, so that it's not warm. And then therefore you know that, hey, you know, you're going to get a pretty accurate cold bore shot on this, which is what you want. So last piece of this video is sight in yardage. I personally sight in all my rifles at 100 yards. When you're calling coyotes, coyotes are close, or at least hopefully they are. I don't want any mistake. I don't want my gun high at 100. I want it dead on at 100. A lot of times you may get maybe only a headshot at a coyote looking through the sagebrush or looking through the grass at a closer distance. And if it is shooting an inch high, that makes a big difference. Obviously, if you're shooting at a body of a coyote, 1 inch high shouldn't make a difference. But that's what I personally do. Obviously, I'm shooting the CDS dial like I showed you guys earlier. So that's one of the main things why I dial it in at 100, just because if I am shooting farther, I just dial it to the correct yardage. But, you know, if you don't have that option, you know, it's still not a bad idea to keep it at 100 and then just know your drops. You can actually, you know, get apps on the phone, get on the computer, put together a little ballistics program and enter your muzzle velocity. Even if you don't have a chronograph to shoot it through, you know, you can maybe get the muzzle velocity, you know, at least close to it off the box of ammo you're shooting, plug that in, and that's going to give you a pretty good idea of, you know, say at 250 yards, my bullet's going to drop 3 inches. At 300 yards, it's going to drop 6 inches. At 350, it's going to drop 10 inches, and at 400 yards, it's going to drop 16 inches, or whatever it may be. You can actually print that out on a little piece of paper, laminate it with some tape or something like that, and tape it to the back side of your buttstock. So then when you know, next time you see a coyote out there and you shoot a range and it's 300 yards, you know, okay, hey, my bullet's going to drop 6 inches. You can hold it, you know, just at the top of the coyote's back and make the shot. So a lot of that's personal preference, but mine is 100 yards zero. So I just finally got this gun where I want it. As you can see, lots of bullets. I've been shooting lots of guns, but this group right there was the last 3-shot group that I shot with my Mark 12 with 53 grain. As you can see, that's a small group. Well under an inch. That's probably easily a half-inch group. All 3 bullets are even touching each other. I might go make one adjustment. I might put maybe 1 click to the right back on that, but that's going to put me dead on at 100, and then my dial will be dead on. Well, hopefully that little video had some info you were looking for. Basically just the way I've done things for a long time. It seems to work. It works well for me, so I've stuck with it. So hopefully some of that will work for you. If you want more tips and things like that on rifle setups and things like that, I post a lot of stuff on my Instagram page, and that's just at Jeff Nimnick. So follow along there, and you'll get to see all these rifles in action all coyote season long. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.